What is good? Today is a fantastic day. Happy 622 day. Even with a 1-9 at the end, flip that up, it's another 1-6. What does that mean? 1226 is my magic number. What does that mean? Nothing. Anyway, finished The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. The F stands for fuck. It was a fantastic book. I'm really glad I read it. I highly recommend it. I'm going to kind of sum up the last couple chapters here in this podcast, but I'm also heading to Utah later today. I am so pumped about that. It's dunk camp this week, testing my vert on Monday. I'm feeling great about it and really just excited to see everyone there, all my boys. It's going to be so fun to hang out with everyone all at once. It's always the best time. That's my favorite thing about traveling is that you gotta break free and all you do is enjoy. If you know me, that's what this whole podcast is about. That's what my whole friggin' philosophy is about, is that we don't know what's going on. We're still spinning. That's kind of nuts. Not kind of, it's the most nuts. And so what's the point? What's the meaning? What do you want to do? Find meaning what you do. But at the end of the day, for me, is just to enjoy as much as I possibly can. Anyway, I enjoyed this friggin' book. I'm actually going to write a quick post. So if you're listening to this already, I'm going to make a quick summary post on my Instagram, little book club type of, I get to use my photography skills with the book. I like doing that and editing the picture, but also write down a little bit of my takeaway so I can remember it too. It's like a win-win-win-win. All right. So the last couple chapters, I'm going to run through a bunch of nuggets that I really liked. Yeah, so let's get to it. I think I don't even know what chapter I left off on, but one thing that I really liked was, where was it? One sec. I think the last thing we talked about is that you're wrong about everything. Question yourself. The next chapter was called Failure is the Way Forward. The failure success paradox, and pain is part of the process. Do something principle. I'm going to hit with the do something principle. I really like that. I'm all about motivation over here. And so when it comes to motivation, a lot of people are like, I don't feel inspired. I want to feel inspired. And then I go do something, or I just don't feel like doing anything. But what he mentions, which I've probably said before, but I really believe in, is just do something. And sometimes when you do that thing, that creates the motivation. That little step forward gets the ball rolling, and that creates the motivation. So don't wait for motivation to hit. Do something first, whatever that is, and then motivation will come, and then it'll get you going. I love that. And then the next chapter is the importance of saying no. It's all about rejection and trust. So with rejection, it's about being able to say no. There's in relationships, I've myself have had this problem too. It's like some people act as the victim, where everything they do is the other person's fault, or some people feel like the saver, where they still take on their partner's emotions because that's how they feel. I guess valued in the relationships. You have to be able to say no at certain times, because that's healthy. It's not good to take on other people's emotions. You should be able to support each other, as he says in the book. You support each other, but you don't take on each other's problems. You still solve your own problems, but you solve them together. And then trust. Everything's built on trust. So you trust that the person's there to always support you and always will be there for you, but you can't have them solve your problems. It was a really interesting one. And the thing I really liked about that chapter too, let me go to the actual chapter to read some of those quotes from that page, because that was really good. 160, one sec. I'm a friggin' bookworm over here. Importance of saying no. Okay, let's see. We're almost there. So with the rejection, back to the rejection, he says, the point is we all must give a fuck about something in order to value something. And to value something, we must reject what it is not that something. What is not that something. So if you don't reject anything, then nothing has value, is what he's saying. Avoiding rejection gives us short-term pleasure by making us rudderless and directionless in the long term. So if you avoid saying no to certain things, you're not creating any type of direction in your life. All right. Where's the, and then the last part of this chapter that I really liked. I'm going to read you this part of, Okay, so the truth is there are healthy forms of love and unhealthy forms of love. Unhealthy love is based on two people trying to escape their problems through their emotions for each other. In other words, they're using each other as an escape. Healthy love is based on two people acknowledging and addressing their own problems, which each other's support. The difference between a healthy and unhealthy relationship comes down to two things: how well each person in the relationship accepts responsibility, and the willingness of each person to both reject and be rejected by their partner. All right. So yeah, you need boundaries, and I just really like that because it makes it kind of more clear when you could pick up on if you're doing something for someone else's emotions. Obviously, you take that into account, but it's not the way you build a relationship, I think is what he's saying. It's not a good foundation. It's obviously it happens and sometimes, but you don't want that to be why you're in the relationship. You don't want the why of the relationship to be to take care of the other person's emotions or to blame the other person. All right. So then the other part of this, here's the last part. But only because you choose to support and be supported, not because you feel obligated or entitled. Okay. Now, where's the commitment part? There's the one part that I really liked that was really interesting. So he talks about commitment and committing to one thing, and this hit home for me because it was, for me, I want to do everything. I want to travel a lot. I want to read a lot of books and do all these things. But he says committing to one thing and going deeper is even more rewarding than doing everything. Like if you go to countries and you visit 50 countries, the 51st country you visit isn't going to be as impactful. It kind of gets overplayed. If he was saying like you went to a party and you drank alcohol and you had a great time, it was your first time ever drinking, it would be super exciting. But then as the years go on and you have a drink, it's not nearly the same experience at all. So it's not about doing the same thing over and over again or doing it more. It's about committing to one thing. So what he says is freedom and liberation in commitment. I found increased opportunity upside in rejecting alternatives and distractions in favor of what I've chosen to let truly matter to me. Yes, breadth of experience is likely and necessary and desirable when you're young. After all, you have to go out there and discover what seems worth investing yourself in. But in depth is where gold is buried, and you have to stay committed to something and go deep to dig it up. So what he was saying is like when you have a relationship, instead of being with all these different women, there's experiences you can only have with being one person for 5, 10, 20 years, whatever that is. And I like that because, like, for example, this podcast it takes time to build. So if you commit to something, you take time. You're not going to be able to do it by just trying all different things. You got to commit and you got to go deeper into the things. I like the aspect of going deeper into the things you do by committing. All right. So then the last chapter is called And Then You Die. And he's just talking about death and how death is the most liberating. It's definitely hard to talk about. It used to be hard to talk about with me and my friends. But as we got more comfortable, it's like something it's good to talk about because it's liberating. If you have it in your mind, I'll just read these quotes because they're way better than what I'll explain. Death scares us, and because it scares us, we avoid thinking about it, talking about it, sometimes even acknowledging it, even when it's happening to someone close to us. Yet in a bizarre, backwards way, death is the light by which the shadow of all life's meaning is measured. Without death, everything would feel inconsequential, all experience arbitrary, and all metrics and values suddenly zero. Because if we never die, we'd have all the time in the world, and that's pretty interesting, and I really like that. So you're going to die. Sorry. I had to do that. Okay. But it's liberating. Don't be afraid. Okay. But once we become comfortable with the fact that our own death, the root terror, underlying anxiety motivating all of life's frivolous ambitions, we can choose our values more freely, unrestrained by the illogical quest for immortality and freed from dangerous dogmatic views. Meaning a lot of people try to be a famous whatever because they want their name to live on. But does that truly matter, or what really matters to you? Because some people, that might be their number one value, is to feel lived on or legacy type shit. But you get the point. It's about if you know what the death is in your mind, then it keeps it clear. Here it is. The Stoics of ancient Greece and Rome implored people to keep death in mind at all times in order to appreciate life more and remain humble in the face of its adversities. In various forms of Buddhism, the practice of meditation is often taught as the means of preparing oneself for death while still remaining alive. Dissolving one's ego into an expansive nothingness, achieving enlightened state of nirvana is seen as a trial run of letting oneself cross to the other side. All right. As this famous, I think, author wrote, As Becker pointed out, this is arguably the only truly important question in our life, yet we avoid thinking about it. 1, because it's hard. 2, because it's scary. 3, because we have no fucking clue what we're doing. Still spinning. Anyway, that is the end of the book. That is, one more quote. Death is the only thing we can know with any certainty. And as such, it must be the compass by which we orient all of our other values and decisions. I love that. And caring about something greater than yourself. So that's what he kind of ends with, is about caring about something greater than yourself. And I really like how death is the only thing we know that's certain. So like use it as a compass, because everybody's always searching for that one thing, their purpose, the greatest thing they can do. What's their thing? What's the thing that they're best at? But it's always going to be uncertain, and being okay with that uncertainty has helped my life a lot, because it makes you free. And then you know that the only thing that's certain is death. Use that as your guide. Remember that and see what really you want to get done in your life. Anyway, I actually really love this book. I love the way it wrapped up. I felt like he really took me through a really great story of starting at the surface level of I don't give a fuck. I can definitely see how people kind of pass over the book. And maybe it comes off as shocking, but it slowly goes deeper and deeper. And I really like the way he explained things. He had some jokes in there and little like vulgar language. I'm indifferent. I don't care either way. I like the information. I like those nuggets, but he really did a great job of explaining and going deeper into each thing. So I highly recommend this one. And I don't know how long that book took me, but I just left it by my bedside and read at least 5 minutes. I have my little Fitbit Life on, put a timer for 5 minutes. So I at least read 5 minutes a day. And then some days if I had more time or if I wasn't tired yet, I'd read for an extra like half hour. But the point is I got it done, and it's just, I keep learning so much. It's making so much content for my podcast, which I love to share. And, it's just a double entendre in my life. And my next book is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, and I'm so pumped about it. It's the creator of Nike, and so many people have highly recommended that one. And I think it's like an inspirational type book, just about his story, not really teaching you anything, just kind of sharing his story of how he created Nike, which is going to be insane. Anyway, heading to Utah tonight. I won't have my mic, but I'll probably record on my phone a little hello in the morning. Might be a different time zone. I don't know. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. I'll be back on Thursday or Friday, and we'll be back still spinning for sure. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. I would love to know your feedback. Any books that you recommend for me, I would definitely consider it. Your boy's a bookworm now. I'm getting that 44-inch vert on Monday. Let's get it. Oh, new dunk vlog coming today or tomorrow. YouTube's popping off. What's up, boys? Okay, see ya. Toodaloo.